Nikon ZF, the new full frame camera from Nikon. I want to talk about this Nikon ZF because it's a retro camera that will give us great mojo for street photography and for people that are liking to shoot a camera for passion and not just for that. So let's talk about this now. Hi there, Tudor Matescu here. I'm a big fan of Nikon cameras. My first professional camera, it's this Nikon DX40. I think this camera has 20 years and the battery is lasting without problems, and I'm able to take this camera and get great shots with it. The AF is great, the ergonomics is great, it's a tank. And it's not just that, I'm liking Nikon for their colors and for their specific sharpness, for their specific micro contrast. For me, Nikons are full frame Fujis, if you are asking me. So this is why I want to share with you my thoughts about the new ZF full frame camera and why ZF may be my dream camera, my retro dream full frame camera. So a long title, but this is where ZF is winning it for me. So let's look at this new camera from Nikon. Now we are on Nikon rumor site and we can see the first pictures of Nikon ZF. So we see that we have a front dial, but also we have a back dial here. The camera is looking nice. I can't call it a very retro looking camera, but it has a retro look. It's reminding me of a G.A.S camera, a rangefinder old camera, but it's looking great. It has that retro vibe to it, and this is good. And also we are able to see here a big viewfinder. So this means a lot for street photography when you want to shoot using the viewfinder. And you have a tilt screen, so you'll be able to close your screen. So great, again, when you want to use the viewfinder. Yes, you don't have a tilt screen and this could be a problem for beginners. A beginner is wanting especially to use a tilt screen because it's not observed. But for me, this implementation, it's okay. I do prefer tilt screen, not just for that. It's very easy to take the down angle shots using a tilt screen, but in this case, I think it's okay for the first iteration. Also, we are able to see that this camera has a very strong build quality, and I understand it is magnum alloy. Also, it has IBIS, so great. Next, we have plenty buttons, tiles, and wheels, so all is looking great. Next, why I would choose this camera? Because of the Nikon Z lenses. I will not enter in the specs. We have a 24 megapixel full frame, it is sufficient. We have a 2 SD cards and 100 grams camera, so it will be a pretty heavy camera, but this means it will be built like a tank. This is what the pictures are inspiring me to think, and I would prefer that than a 50 grams camera that it's not there or there. So I do prefer a heavy camera or a light camera, but not in between. So 700 grams, I feel it's okay for this camera if it's built like a tank with a good battery, but all is looking great from the specs. I will not enter in the specs, you can see them on Nikon rumors and other YouTubers talk about that, but for me there is a very important tidbit that nobody addressed. Why this camera could be the dream camera for someone who is passionate about photography and especially street photography. So let's take a look at these special lenses. This is where Nikon ZF or ZF comes into play. Nikon already has great lenses for this camera, so this is a huge deal. So let's look what lenses I do recommend for this camera, and let's see why these lenses are inviting me, are tickling my guess to buy Nikon ZF. Let's look at these lenses. Nikon Z 40mm f2 pancake lens. Where on Earth, on a full frame camera and also on an APS-C camera, we will find a 40mm f2 lens. Nowhere. We have an Olympus Micro Four Source lens 20mm f1.4, but this is a full frame lens and it's looking retro and it's an f2 lens. So for someone who is passionate about this focal lens, the 40mm, it's a no-brainer. This is why I wanted to buy Nikon Z5 or Nikon Z6, but again, I don't like the design of those cameras. I don't like it, and for sure I will not use the cameras just for the lens. But now, because Nikon ZF comes with this retro design, just imagine that 40mm f2 small pancake lens on ZF. Just imagine this lens. So great lens. Next, let's see the next lens that it's a good pair with Nikon ZF. The next lens is of course 28mm f2.8. What more do you want? Full frame pancake lens on that camera with the 28mm field of view. Great for wide shots, great for portraits, f2.8, full frame, small, compact lens, retro looking, stylish looking, and so on. So again, another great lens. These lenses are making the ZF full frame retro looking camera very attractive. But let's now look at this small pancake lens. By the way, if you are passionate about photography, I have a newsletter dedicated to teaching and sharing my passion for photography, where you will receive a free POV, a strong POV, where I will show you how I am able to get pictures after pictures at a very difficult event. You will see my settings and my way of action, and also you will receive lots of tips, my recommended books for photography, and many more practical tips for the hobbyist photographer. So please check this link or the link in the comments and description and subscribe to my newsletter dedicated for someone who is passionate about photography. 26mm f2.8. Come on, it's great. It's 26, it's not 24. So it's hard for you to take street photography shots with a 24mm because you feel that 24mm it's a little too wide, and also that 28mm it's a little cumbersome for you. Then you have this 26mm f2.8, and I feel it's a great compromise. It's a great compromise. So yes, a great choice and a true pancake lens. With an f2.8, it's sufficient on full frame to get nice shots and day shots and urban scenes, buildings, and so on. So again, a great lens, but also we have a small lens, the 50mm f2.8. A macro lens, so you can get really close to your subject. Great for someone who is loving this field of view. But also you have the other Nikon lenses that I will not bring into discussion now. The 35mm f1.8, the 50mm f1.8, and so on. And also great zooms, f4 zooms, and so on. So you have lenses for this Nikon ZF full frame camera. You have lenses. You have lenses. So this is a big deal. Full frame lenses, great lenses with great aperture, small, compact, easy to carry. It's really something here. Next, you have Nikon colors, Nikon micro contrast, Nikon rendition. That again, it's for me, Nikon, it's Fuji on full frame. And a big thing that you have here, you have a dedicated black and white dial. And this dial, it is hide here, but it's a dedicated black and white dial. You have two wheels here, and again, lots of buttons, and we are able to see this camera, it is metal build from what I'm seeing in the pictures. So again, great build quality. So you have IBIS, and you have dedicated black and white dial. Also you have a small LCD for aperture display. So again, you'll be able to see the aperture before shooting. Nice touch. You also have dual SD cards, and the price, again, it's great. It's great for a full frame camera, so around 2,000 bucks. So I feel that Nikon will really hit the market for photographers that are passionate about street photography and for photographers that want a full frame camera for street photography. And this is a big thing because I'm liking the film cameras from Nikon, but the new cameras, the digital cameras, I don't know, I personally don't like them. I'm a big fan of the retro design and of the rangefinder design. So this is why Nikon ZF, it is very attractive to me. Another important thing to address is that it has improved AF compared to Z5 and Z6 too. So this is a big deal because we were able to see that those cameras had some problems, and for street photography or for even photography, a camera like this, a camera that it's a tool that will inspire you and it will help you get the shot, it's a big deal. So overall you have a great camera with maximum shot at 1/8000 per second, so you'll be able to shoot wide open in the sun and so on. So Nikon ZF full frame camera, retro looking camera, it's a great camera, and I can't wait to see the final product and to see how Nikon ZF will compare and will act in real world. Now, do you want to take your passion for photography at the next level? Are you a working photographer? Do you know what it's a photography funnel? Do you have a newsletter dedicated for your clients? If not, check my newsletter and find out more techniques to get more customers and get more money for your photography business. Link in the comments and description, and also on the screen a short URL. But this is a huge deal again for photographers that are passionate about their work, that are passionate about their hobby, and for photographers that are wanting a full frame camera, retro looking camera. I'm liking my Fujis, I'm liking my Sony A7C, but Fuji is not full frame. Sony A7C, it's retro, it has a rangefinder design, but it's a Sony. I feel Nikon will hit the sweetest spot. Please subscribe to my channel. Also check my affiliate links and see the gear that I'm using and the software that I'm using. And also please check my next video right now.